Can you give us some of the biggest mistakes you see law firms make when they onboard leads who've been referred?
Ooh, that's a great question. I would say the biggest mistake is not training intake how to handle those any differently than any other phone call that comes into the law firm. And the reason why I say that is because I'm a true believer if someone's been referred to your office, if you know who referred them, the second part of handling that intake should be thanking that person. And that's where I see a lot of law firms dropping the ball because they write the information down. Nick was referred to me by Tony. That information's in the case management system. They're done. But that's a mistake because what you haven't done is thanked Tony for the referral. And so that's the biggest mistake that I see because you want that person to know you appreciate the referral.
See, that's what's so valuable about having you here as a co-host on the podcast, because we always talk about how intake faces the client, right? But this is an aspect of intake that we just don't really tackle here on this podcast, which is why your expertise is so valuable. Yeah, that next step is really crucial. Who does the thanking?
So that's a great question because it's never the same person. And it doesn't matter what law firm it is because each law firm is going to answer that question differently. So some law firms are going to say the person who thanks the referral is going to be someone in marketing. Another law firm is going to say, actually, it's going to be whomever has that relationship with the person who referred the case. So if it's an associate within the law firm, the associate has that relationship. Intake should let that associate know if they're assigned to that contact because they're the ones maintaining and nurturing the relationship. So it kind of depends on who that person is. Now, the really great law firms will make sure intake knows who that person is. Because the other part of it is sometimes they don't tell intake. And so you can't really blame it on intake because intake isn't exactly sure who to reach out to. They know they've done their job by filling out case acquisition, where did the case come from, but they don't know that additional step. So it's really important, like from a legal operations standpoint, you notify that person in intake what they do next, because it's not intake's fault if it's not clear what they do next and who does what next.